See, back then you marked the record, and that's when we started running around the turntables. Once we knew where the vinyl, where the market was at, that's when we could see running around all the way on the turntables. Because nowadays they put the turntables side by side, so the distance is shorter. Back then the tables was spread apart. The mixes, the 3880s, about 20 feet long. So it's totally different now. It's in battle style. So you really had to work back then. Now it's a lot easier.
But what was the inspiration for doing such a flamboyant show? Like, had you seen anybody doing it close?
No, well, honestly, we like what Flash was doing, and we said we're gonna just take it up another step further, and we're just gonna do some entertainment. We used to bring Ray Charles with us, this guy named Ray Charles. He would stand on the speakers and go like this. That was part about getting, part of the show.
Okay.
Hey, don't get messed up though. We sit up here and we talk about the Bronx and Manhattan and stuff like that. But let me tell you something. They put on a show. They put on a show. I mean, when I used to see the Cold Crush Brothers, Theodore, Flash, and all them, and Funky Four, they put on a show, harmonizing and singing, doing steps. We was like, man, we ain't doing that. Because we had the thug in us. We wasn't trying to do all of that. But trust me, they brought an art to the game that was like, okay, you had to step it up, because we were just on some, throw the record, get on the mic and say something slick and let him throw the record in. That's the most you got out of Brooklyn and Queens. I ain't gonna front. Uptown in the Bronx, they was putting on uniform suits. We played at the Hotel Diplomat one time, and we had to do we literally had to rehearse to do a show. And we was like, yo, Lance, man, what is this, man? we had on towels, we had short towel suits, right? Terry cloth, yeah. And we had British walkers and stuff. I mean, we had to be really uniformed and stuff like that. And again, we were the only group there that didn't have a record, but we had so much reputation that they allowed us to even come up and be in that setting. But don't get it wrong. We sit here going back and forth, but they definitely brought some showmanship to the game. They definitely did.
But Queens, one thing, I'm from Harlem, and one thing we've always known is that Queens always set a precedence for all of us. I remember going to visit my family in Queens, and we had to get dressed up just to go to Queens. No, really.
For real?
Yeah. Because Queens was always looked at as a different borough. It was suburban. There were people there, yes, there were people there living in houses. There were people there with cars. There were people there who were, there was a mom and a dad. There was so much more structure. And even as far as hip hop is concerned, Queens set a precedence. You were foundational. And just like an engineer, you never really see the engineer, but you hear the magic of the engineer. And then everyone else capitalizes off of that. But if it were not for you, and I'm sure there are plenty of Africans right now sitting down saying, if they only knew, if it were not for us. You understand? So each person in each era, each individual, everyone has their job, everyone has a level of responsibility to our community, and yes, things have changed, but one thing I realize is that history is repeating itself. We're getting back to the basics, and I think that that's what this is right now, is that we're getting back to the basics, we're getting back to the foundation. People do and want to know, what is it that really makes this thing work? What is it that's really going to make it last? Because, I mean, come on, this bubblegum hip-hop, I can't.
But it's funny that you say that. I was just in Vegas, and a friend of mine, who actually was one of the guys that started the Source magazine, he's working at one of these big nightclubs in Vegas, booking these dance DJs. He was telling me, now I'm not a big dance music fan, but I listen to everything going on. He was running off a list of names of guys that are, once again, international dance music DJs that make $100,000 a night to spin it for 2 hours. And they are booking these kind of people. Now, I was shocked. And I went on YouTube, they all got pages, Tiesto and Swedish House Mafia. I mean, I don't know it that well, but it was coming. And then he told me, he says, isn't it amazing? It's all coming back to the DJ. And I was like, wow, that's right. DJs, 200 grand a night. That's a whole different world of music.
And the female